Welcome to the Man Cave Podcast with Dan Casper.
He is Mr. Jake Bolks, Conservation Warden for the great state of Wisconsin, joining us here a little bit earlier this morning. Jake, how you doing, big guy?
I'm doing good. Appreciate you sneaking me up a little bit this morning.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. Hey, first off, we got a question from a gentleman who's wanted to know about hunter safety class. He said that my son will have to do hunter safety soon. Are classes only available during certain times of the year, or is it a year-round thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So generally, there are certain times of the year where it seems like the instructors run them, and it's usually the spring right before the turkey hunts, especially the youth turkey season, and then the fall before the gun deer season. But they are available year-round. So any hunter safety, ATV, boating, snowmobile, all those types of safety courses are offered year-round. It's just whenever the instructors want to set them up. So the way that our safety classes work is they're actually, they're supported by the DNR and our staff, but it's really the volunteers that do a lot of the work. That's why, we really appreciate anyone that has volunteered, is volunteering, will volunteer in the future, because, you guys are the ones that are teaching these kids how to hunt and snowmobile and do everything the right way and the safe way. But they're the ones that put the courses on, so they're the ones that decide where they want to host it, what dates they want to do it. Is it a couple days in a row, or is it one class a week for a couple weeks, or whatnot? So it's really up to them. If someone's interested, or you're curious, or you're looking for a class, all you need to do is go to our DNR website. And when you go to the DNR website, you can just type in hunter safety, however, or follow the links. And then you basically just go and search and look for a class. So when you look for these classes, basically you're going to pop open an Excel document. And on that Excel document, it's going to show you all the available courses in the state. So you can click statewide, or you can click Eau Claire County, or select the different counties to see if there's some locally. But basically it'll open it up and you'll see all the instructor information, contact information, class information statewide. You just got to kind of narrow down where you want to go.
So a couple of good points there too. Maybe a lot of people don't realize the teachers of this, they're volunteers, right? They're not necessarily like a DNR warden. I know you've kind of joined in a class or was a guest speaker or something like that, but they're volunteers that help out with this.
They're 100% volunteers. They do it because they love teaching, love giving back, want to see kids or even adults with some of our adult courses or online courses. They want to see adults and everyone be safe and successful. So I always mention in every class, I love doing it, but I also get paid to come there in for an hour and talk about what a warden does and talk on regulations and safety and such. But those guys and gals are there for the love of the sport and wanting to teach the youth. So it's a noble thing they're definitely doing.
And it's a little bit different. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it a little bit different than maybe when you and I did hunter safety? Because I remember it was like, okay, I'm going to be about 12 years old, or I'm 11 years old. You can do it a little bit younger now, correct? Yeah.
So there used to be age requirements, and a lot of those are based off the fact is just if you've had kids, they all mature or grow up at different rates. Whether it's emotionally or maturity or just your size. So they used to have it, but now you can go in at 10, 9, technically. Some instructors don't like it or allow it because they want people older that can handle it. But, if you got a boy or girl that's grown up, they're taller than average, they're just developing quicker, and they're 9, and you think you can get them in, I mean, technically you could, but, we always just tell parents to bring them in when you think they're ready to understand the importance of the safety part of it, and that's a good time to get them in to start learning how to hunt safely.
I remember, I think it was like 5th or 6th grade, everybody, I think, had their hunter safety folders in their backpacks because classes were right after school or something like that. So
yeah,
those were the good old days.
There still are. Yeah, there's definitely still some, including like ATV and boats and stuff that are hosted in schools or in summer. If they got some summer courses and different things like that. So it seems like at least around here, the classes I go to, most of them are held at the sportsmen's clubs and such, which is a nice venue for it.
Absolutely. Jake, I know this was a release a couple days ago, but maybe a good reminder because we are inching closer to hunting season, but the sharp-tailed grouse hunting season will be closed for 2024. I was reading a little bit. Said that even though, the spring population survey results indicated a slight increase, but that sharp-tailed grouse season will remain closed for 2024, and no permits or applications will be available or accepted this year.
Yeah, so no, that's a good thing to note. It's been so on and off for the last few years. I don't know a ton of people, at least locally, that try to go out for the grouse or for the sharp-tail, excuse me. But the important thing is to make sure to try to learn how. If you're a grouse hunter, you probably know how to identify the difference in them. But with the season being closed, you got to make sure that you identify a rough grouse versus a sharp-tailed grouse, and you know what you're shooting, just like pheasants, just like ducks, you're shooting the right species when you're out there. So it's a good note that, it's closed. It's a good thing, obviously, that, that the numbers, they're perceiving the numbers to be higher, but just like any species, if they're not high enough or strong enough to handle a hunting season, then they're not going to open it up yet.
Mm-hmm. And with that, as we mentioned a couple of times here too, next week's the big week, Jake. Everybody should probably be setting some reminders on their cell phones and checking.
Yes, you should.
When their zones open up for that antlerless tag season. So, can people still buy physical license or go in for these, or is it straight up all online at this point?
No, it's still both. So the whole system, no matter what you're doing, I don't think I'll probably say this but be wrong, besides maybe like ordering something that needs to be shipped to you, like registration stickers themselves or like a Go Wild card which gets shipped to you, you always still have the option to come in person to take care of your stuff if you want to talk with a live human being.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise you can do the same amount of stuff by just going on your phone on the Go Wild app and taking care of it that way. So I've already talked to the customer service staff here in Eau Claire, and they, just like us, they know it because that's their busy week of August, so they already know that week's coming, and they plan for it, for the uptick and people coming in to buy these bonus tags. Obviously, it's just, the difference is if you're in a line of 10 people at the service center and you're 10th in line, you're just going to get whatever you get when you get up to the line, when you get up for your turn, versus if you do it online, they're going to throw you in like a queue or like a waiting room, basically, when you go to the website, and then you'll automatically get put in a digital or virtual line for getting your bonus tag.
Wow.
So it's just kind of first come, first serve in a way.
Right. So if you want to make sure, maybe the best way is to go online if you're able to
probably,
go online.
or be one of the first people at your local service center in line. Can
anybody camp out outside your office for that service? I'm just kidding. I don't want to throw that out there. But,
hey, if you want to take that bad, 8:30 a.m. It's when the doors open. Come on in.
Do you have your alarm set? I've got mine set. Mine's the first day right away, so I'm gonna have to get in there and get that. So
yeah, luckily I hunt in an area where there's generally plenty of tags if I need them. So
right.
I don't have to get too caught up in that personally, which is kind of nice. But
right.
I've been there for like turkey stuff.
Bonus
turkey tags. I got my 3 different alarms going, and somehow some days I still seem to miss those alarms or forget to log in at the right time.
That to me, like next week, that to me is when like hunting season kind of really starts to kick it into gear, when I really start to think about it. I don't know why, but it's just like, okay, now that I've got to get either my bow tag right away or because that's the other thing too, you got to purchase your bow tag or your gun tag with that if you don't have it already, with that bonus tag, right? You just can't just order that antlerless tag.
Yeah. Usually the online systems will make you purchase everything, some sort of license that gives you, so it makes it legal to have a bonus tag. You can't get a bonus tag without having an archery license or a gun license or something like that. Same with if when everyone does the spring turkey stuff, they're going to make you buy some turkey licenses prior to just buying the bonus tag then.
Right. Jake, before we let you go, a couple things here. Is it still pretty busy on the waters? I mean, I know we're in August and the weather's still, pretty warm and such. Is it still a busy fishing season for you guys, or when do you kind of start to transition more into the hunting season?
No, definitely still busy. I mean, it's still summer. It's still summer until really September comes. I would say with the water coming down. There's a lot more people out on the river. Seen plenty of people out on the lakes, and obviously the UTV trails are always packed. It seems like, but I think you're right. I think next week's a good informal start to the hunting season. I think I mentioned it a couple weeks ago, but for us, at least for me as a warden, is that it's that Labor Day week, and it's that unofficial official transition, because you kind of get that last big push of people out camping and ATVing and boating and this and summer life, and then it seems like just immediately the next week you get baiting complaints and people are calling about their trail cams and deer stands and where they can hunt, and kind of does a big switch, big 180 after that weekend.
Mm-hmm. And I know you mentioned it last week too, but again, Farm Tech Days next week, you guys are going to be out there too.
Farm Tech Days, yeah. If you want to meet some of your local wardens, come on out. I'll be out there a couple days. And at least for the wardens in this area, everyone's going to be out there at some point. So the Chippewa, the Jackson County, the Clark County, Eau Claire County wardens, and then some of our recreational staff and some of our outdoor skills trainers. We'll have a lot of people there. There's going to be a lot of different machines to climb on if you got kids, or if you're interested in seeing what we're ripping around these days and stuff like that, as well as. That's just the law enforcement. There's going to be tons of other departments there, wildlife, fisheries, drinking groundwater, forestry, just tons of people out there. So plenty of DNR staff if you got questions or thoughts or comments if you go out there.
All right, good stuff. Jake, hey, we appreciate you, and thanks for coming on a little bit earlier this morning, too. Hopefully we didn't keep you too late. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I appreciate you sneaking off so I can take care of some stuff. The last thing, if you don't mind me throwing out one thing, is we talked about, obviously, hunter safety at the beginning, but what we're seeing a lot this summer, too, which I'll throw a quick plug in, is just always make sure, if you're basically born after 1989, you need to have everything for your safety courses, basically like having a driver's license. So snowmobiles, ATVs, boats, you have to have your safety certificate. So I think there's a lot of people that have the notion of you turn 16 or you get a driver's license and you can just jump in a UTV and rip down the road or drive the boat around, and we're seeing a lot of people operating without their safety certificates. And, without getting into the nitty-gritty of why it's important to go to the safety courses, it's just a good reminder that if you're going to operate that or, potentially be a designated driver someday or something like that, you can go online, do it all online, but boat is 1989, ATV is 1988, snowmobile is 1985. If you're born after any of those dates, you have to have those safety courses in order to legally drive the machines.
Good notes, Jake.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thanks
it, buddy.
Again.
Yeah, you got it. Have a good rest of your week, and we'll catch up with you again soon, okay?
Yeah, talk to you guys next week. See ya.
You got it. There you go. Jake Bolks, our conservation warden buddy.